I don't do anything in my work that's not a project. Now here's the shift, Nate, for what you do as well in corporate, and Sean, what we do in entrepreneurial work is that I don't begin spending any time on an activity until I have a project description for that project. Which means if I'm like, oh, that's a great idea, great example would be, let's say an organization comes to me and says, we'd like to work with you on, building a workshop. The first thing I do is I say, okay, what's the project? And that would be then, there's two projects that launched out of that. There's the offer for that, so they're going to say, oh, we want you to do this work. I have to create the offer. What is it? Is it 2 workshops? Is it 4 workshops? Is it a day-long thing? Is it in person or not? Those are all offer questions. So then I literally create a 1-page project description for that offer. But also I just got off a call with these folks saying like, hey, can we talk again next week and shape this thing? Now I'm not making any money off that offer. So now I've got a second project, which is a campaign project for that particular offer. For me personally, I like to separate the building of the offer that's going to deliver value and separate the time it takes to sell that offer. Does that make sense? So any given project, any given offer typically has 2 projects attached to it, in my world anyway. And you think about that, and we did some of that, at Accenture. So we had projects like business development projects, and then you had to set budget for that, and there was activities, and there was all that. But there's a lot of things that we do that we don't set up as projects, that we end up spending time on. Things like mentor time. Is that a project? Well, I think of that if doing that kind of work. I have a project called my 2200 list where I talk to people. Well, I literally have a project description of just talking to people on a week-to-week basis. And that project is what I would put in my rhythm. And there's an offer piece of this too, right? So I think about that as like, everything should be in a project. At least that's how I think about this. Everything in your business should be project oriented, because projects help you create a beginning and an end.